We're Laura and Brian, also known as a couple of quins. We love our city of Dayton, old houses, and dogs.
We're currently putting the finishing touches on our most recent project. We've nicknamed it The Fed. We hope you'll follow along to see what's next.
What's up, guys? Come on, Pete. All right. Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah.
We love coming over here. It's always a treat. So tell us a little bit about the history of the house.
The house was built in 1923, and we believe that it is based off of a Sears Kit Home called the Rembrandt, and that's just based on the layout and where things are. It doesn't line up exactly with those plans, and they're not stamped floorboards, but still, we think it's kind of based off of that.
How long have you guys lived here?
We
4
lived
years
here
now, almost?
3 years.
And what made you decide on this house compared to the other ones that you lived at?
Well, we looked at like 10 different
Scott was
houses.
under contract like 4 times.
Yes, I'm
before
every
mine was
realtor's dream, right? I was underneath 3 contracts that I backed out of, and then it just ended up being, everything was right with this house, I feel like. Well, first of all, Nikki was sick of looking at houses and backing out of houses, and before she wasn't on the deed, so she really had anything to say, and then when she was on the deed, she was like, all right,
This is it.
this is my house,
Yes.
we're doing this. So we're actually looking at a house on Patterson, and then you called us and told us that this house had just come on the market.
I did.
Before you were a realtor.
It was meant to be. I remember when this hit the market, I was like, this is such a cute house. This street is awesome with the kind of the boulevard down
And it's
the
right by
middle.
the park.
This is the foyer.
Let you lead.
This is the
lead
grand
way.
foyer.
You might have to go out, sorry.
Originally, I wanted to do a table in the center, but it's not big enough for that. Nikki vetoed on it.
Yeah.
Put the kibosh on that.
But
Good job.
the whole entire hallway was bright yellow. They also had cracks from just settling. So before we moved in, we really wanted to make sure we addressed all those. So we filled the cracks and we painted all the ceilings. And then we painted all the walls and the trim throughout the entire house. And then we painted this light gray.
What's the color name?
Colonnade Gray, recommended by you, which
It's
we
a
had at
good
the
one.
cottage.
It's
When I lived in
also
the
all
cottage.
throughout the brownstone.
So we painted this whole thing, and we had finally settled, and we painted for 4 or 5 weeks straight. And then Laura came in, and she's like, "I really feel like this would look great dark." So then we So I was like, "She's right, dang it, she's
And it
right."
looks great.
So yeah, and so we went back in and we just painted this dark, and it really does pop out. So we call this the family room or living room. And
Can I sit in my chair while I'm
That
yeah,
is
sure. This
This is where I sit when we come over to hang out, and Scott serves me
that's right.
cocktails.
All the dogs are up there with their like normal.
The dog whisperer.
It really is just the best place to be.
That's pretty great.
All right, go on without it.
So, well, let's see, where to start in here, things that
There
we
used
did.
to be the built-in there.
Yes, so when we bought it, there used to be a built-in bench that connected these 2 pieces. And we were gonna keep it, but we found that we weren't really sitting on it, so it wasn't really functional for us and for our needs. It was also very narrow, it wasn't any wider than what these are. A friend sent me a Facebook message of a Facebook Marketplace vintage 60s sofa, which is right up my alley. Yeah, since then that sofa has been ripped up by our favorite little puppy, Pitzel. So that's down in the basement. And now we have this other orange sofa here to replace it, which is just a kind of ode to mid-century, but not quite.
Yeah.
It's the fanciest dog sofa.
That's literally what it is.
It's the lookout sofa for the dogs. They bark, they love to see everybody.
Where do you find most of your pieces? Because you have a lot of cool stuff.
It's a life collection. It takes forever. So I started collecting mid-century modern furniture before it was cool. I'm just saying.
It really
And
is.
I could buy like it for really cheap because people were just throwing it away. They didn't want it, and like now it's so hard to find pieces.
Well, it's expensive.
It's so expensive now because people want it.
I remember in college, I think it was sophomore year, and I went over to visit Scott's apartment, which was, first of all, cool because he had his own apartment. But then it was also a very cool apartment. The way that he had everything decorated, his furniture was awesome. Going to Scott's house has always been like a adventure.
A treat.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really
thank you.
is.
I appreciate that. That makes me feel so good.
And now that Nikki's here, the food's good too. No.
I mean, what do we eat every Wednesday? Italian chicken.
We do. That is your recipe.
Thanks, Auntie Caroline.
When we bought this house, unfortunately, whoever owned it before us whitewashed the stone. The stone shouldn't be that white, but it actually surprisingly doesn't look that bad since we painted this accent wall the dark iron ore color. I will say the painting above the fireplace is thanks to Coldwell Banker. They were cleaning out an old office by the Dayton Mall, and they were going to throw this away, so I asked if I could have it, and it's awesome. I just love it. I guess like our aesthetic has turned into like mid-century modern nautical on accident. Like we really didn't even mean to do that. Like we both love
It
fish.
kind of is.
So.
The rug has a very water
Oceany.
nautical feel. Yeah, I feel like I'm in like the captain's quarters of a ship over here. So tell us about your fish tank over here.
Oh, that's the biggest purchase we've made recently.
Brand new.
It is a saltwater tank. Nikki always liked to do fish, and this is our newest tank.
And now
it's
we've
large.
moved up to saltwater.
Yeah, we moved from fresh to salt, and
Which is actually easier.
yeah, I was looking everywhere for a mid-century modern style sofa, and I found it with her at JCPenney's.
Of all places.
Of all places. We went to a lot of places, and the last place we went was JCPenney's, and they had it, and I was just gonna get it in fabric and save, $2,000, but Laura convinced me that it would be worth
Get
the
the
extra
leather.
money to get the leather, and I mean, she is right.
Oh,
And it's held up.
fantastic.
This sofa is
comfortable.
about 6-7 years old, it still looks pretty new, so,
And it's like buttery feeling
oh, it's
in a
like-
good way.
You ready to get up,
I know,
Laura?
I don't want to get up, but I guess we gotta move to the next
I don't
room.
think Pitzel and Cannoli want you to get
I
up.
Look
know,
at
they
her.
look so comfy.
They're so comfortable.
You guys ready to get up?
Um,
Half bath.
But
now?
here is our half bath. We tried to
Groovy.
go groovy psychedelic in there. So we stenciled this. I made the stencil based off of a placemat by Orla Kiley, which is one of my favorite fabric designers or textile designers. I totally ripped it off of her and made my own stencil and did it. And then I didn't want to buy more paint, so I literally went through the gallons of paint left by the previous owners and painted each circle whatever color was left over.
So all those colors were in the house at one
Yes,
point.
all those colors were in the house.
Oh, that's kind of a fun little like ode to the original colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Those are some wild colors.
Well, I mean, I did pick the more vibrant ones too. So.
Teal. You got a cotton candy.
I think
pink in
the
there.
kitchen was that teal color. The kitchen was the
It
teal
was,
color.
yep.
All right. Well, come on into the kitchen. This is where it really starts getting fun.
This is where the wine is. Yeah.
This is where it's at. So
This is where we spend most of our time.
This is honestly, this is where we've changed the most in the house, because we totally gutted and redid the kitchen. And when I say we, I mean the marvelous, wonderful Mr. John Wine. I don't know if you guys know him from this channel, but
John's a star on the show and he doesn't even know it. He has no idea.
I mean, what's the one-liner he said that was like, "Oh, you should get sponsorship"?
What would you guys want?
I don't know who's your sponsors.
We really wanted it to kind of reflect the house feeling, so that's why we went with kind of a more shaker, I don't know, what do you call that? Arts and crafts
Yeah,
kind
sure.
of look.
But I love this, like you have some very traditional elements, like this little valance over the window, and I love the classic subway, which I think we're gonna put in the Fed for the backsplash.
We will not.
We
help
did that ourselves, so
We
yeah.
did that. John didn't do that. John was like, well, I'll do it for like a lot of money.
And you guys did this.
And we did that.
I
Yeah,
remember
we-
they got all the supplies, or at least the stone, from the Habitat for
Yeah.
Humanity store.
Yeah, right near the Fed.
You guys are like the only people I know that can go to a store like that and find random scraps and remnants and actually make it work.
Thank
I think
you.
it was
Thanks.
definitely worth it. And have we talked about this yet? Like, this is the best
little
part of the
nook.
So is this another design by the artist you mentioned?
Orla Kylie.
Yeah.
So you ripped this off too?
Yes, absolutely.
Alright.
And these were tablecloths. So the actual cushions were tablecloths that went on clearance, and I bought that. And then if you look at our not our cookie jars, our flour and sugar and tea jar, that is
That's
also
where we
Orla
got it to
Kylie.
match.
Oh yeah, it does match.
I mean, I traced the actual tablecloth for the pear shape and the motif, and then put it on the wall.
You want to tell them about the pattern that I messed up?
It took about 2 weeks to paint the stencil.
Is it this
Paint
one?
it. Oh yeah, see if you can find.
We already found
If you can, 2 rows of this way, 2 rows of this way. Well, these guys are supposed to face that way.
I messed up.
We had a big argument that day.
I love this. I would sit here every day.
We've been eating breakfast in here a lot lately.
It's really breakfast, and when the twins come, like that's their favorite place to eat. I think, like they love to sit in that nook.
Bottle of wine?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
While we're in the kitchen, wine.
Yes.
Ready?
Do it.
It breaks with the weight.
That is not the like Disney.
No, so it like
Mine.
sticks. You know when
Okay,
you
Belle.
put weight on
Are you
it.
trying to be Belle?
Yeah. All right. I might need you to push me. Somebody.
It's got like a lock on it when you have weight on it.
Yeah,
It's
but you
easier
can
to-
still.
It's easier to do with kids. Well, my favorite one's Chardonnay. That's usually the one I always choose.
Wine not?
Happy hour starts now. That's a good
Mm.
one. You know, you could also wear these for earrings.
I like the grab life by the
We're just gonna,
glass.
hold on, we're gonna
Ooh.
top them all off. Let's just finish the bottle.
Why not? I think you guys should come and do all of our videos with us.
Okay.
No, let's talk salary here. Some benefits.
No, I just like to see houses.
Well, yeah, as of now, I've not been paid for anything, so maybe I should have a discussion with the manager too.
Once you're monetized, I want
Manager.
10 cents out of your 20 cents. Alright, just so everybody knows, if you come to my house and you have a glass of wine, you adopt a dog apparently.
This is insane. All right, so I was out front shooting some B-roll of the exterior of the front of the house, and a neighbor walked over and said, hey, I'm getting rid of a few things, you know, hey, I'm selling this, selling that. And I just kind of started talking to him, and he said, you know, what really tears me up is I have to get rid of my puppy because he's moving due to some life circumstances and this and that. And we knew from coming over here prior, we've seen this super cute little schnauzer puppy running around across the street. And as some of you may know, we lost our Alfie, who was a miniature schnauzer, a little over a year ago. And just kind of feels like it's meant to be. So he had to find a home for his puppy. So right then and there, he went and grabbed all the stuff and the paperwork, and we gave him some cash, and I don't know, it feels crazy, but we're very excited. He's very cute.
What are the names?
Well, his name is Baron. I think we're gonna decide if we keep that or not. I think it's a very cute name. Pete, what do you think of this baby?
Do you like him?
Pete,
He's like,
what do you
I don't know. I mean, I'm a little confused.
He's like, we're gonna leave
new
that.
buddy?
Being a really
He's
good
like,
dog.
He's like, we're gonna leave that here, right?
He's so cute.
like he's probably thinking.
So we
every time
came here
come
for
to
the
this house-
tour. I was not expecting to leave with a dog.
He's real
Let's
good.
hope he's Baron and he doesn't knock up
You're a good
himself.
boy, huh? Like, look at how good he is, though.
He is so very good.
He seems a little scared.
Are you
He's like,
scared?
I don't know what's going on.
Do you want a treat? Do you know what a treat is? Did he give you treats before? Don't lick anything.
So, let's tour the rest of the house.
Yeah, that being said.
Alright, yeah.
You want to just tour the house with the
I
dog
may
in
just
hand?
hold him.
Yeah,
I mean,
hold
I'm
him.
feeling very hot though. He's like Alfie, he is very hot-blooded. Goodness.
Yeah.
This fabric does not breathe.
I know. Pure polyester right there.
Welcome into the dining room. Feeling a little buzzed. This is the second glass of wine that we've had.
This is what happens when you come over here.
The second bottle. We finished the bottles off.
I'm not gonna. I'm still on my second glass.
Okay.
Never finished.
I pour heavy, guys.
My Aunt Cindy said never finish your first glass of wine so that you can say you're always on it.
Yeah, you're always on your
So
first glass.
You never finish it, just keep refilling it.
Yes, that was a family lesson I learned real fast hanging out with Scott's family.
So this is actually my favorite room of the house. It's a room that we use at least once a week when we
Yeah.
have family dinners with Laura and Brian and Bethany and Gage and Arrow and
Wednesday
Roland.
night.
It's going to be a birthday
It's a
celebration
breakfast.
for Nikki and for Roland. But I will say the reason why this is my favorite room is because it has a lot of my favorite furniture pieces in it. Last year we were hosting Thanksgiving for family and
Decided we needed a bigger
we
table.
needed a bigger dining room table. So I looked everywhere on Facebook Marketplace for like months. I got it literally like a week before Thanksgiving. So I had to refinish it in a week, stain it, and then like it was a very interesting Thanksgiving. We had like pads on it and all this stuff so people wouldn't leave marks, but
I remember that. It turned out beautifully.
thank you.
That looks gorgeous. Now these chairs match your sideboard.
Yes, so that's sideboard.
This kind of curved
This
pattern
touch
you can see.
with the H, kind of like a Honda car. That's what I think.
Yeah, a little bit.
That is also Brazilla from Broyhill, and I found that at Goodwill for $25.
Wow.
These things.
We are bargain hunters.
These collections sell, like that hutch alone sells for over $1,000 now, which
Yeah.
is crazy. And then this leads me to our biggest feature, which is the secretary
It's so
slash-
heavy.
Well, it's a secretary desk that we turned into a bar. And then behind you, Brian, is actually another favorite piece of ours, which I found in Bellbrook. This guy had the Zenith cart, record player cart. I don't know the exact name, but we fell in love with it, and so of course I had to go drive out to Bellbrook and get it. And it works great and sounds great. And yeah, I think that's probably about it. I refinished that in high school. I found it at the flea market where I grew up for $1.
Wow.
Oh, nice. That might beat my $3 toy store chair.
It was, well, it's a vintage television, so it was gutted already for me, and so I basically was like, hey, I want to make it into a bar, which seems to be a motif for all of us
We
here.
drink here.
We see a piece of furniture and we're like, let's turn that into a bar. We're gonna head upstairs now.
Alright. Yeah, let's head upstairs.
I feel like Laura, the co-host tour, has checked out.
What's that?
You're
You
the-
have
playing with
checked
the
out
dog.
as
You're
a
the host,
co-host.
man.
I'm
Like,
done.
look at that
I'm
cute
just-
face.
Game over. Go on with the tour without me.
I'll be down here playing with my new dog.
Alright, I'm coming.
Kind of impressed with you, Brian. You're holding a wine glass and the camera.
Heck yeah.
I know.
Let's see how good
I've
this-
given up my wine glass. That's how
To hold the
much.
dog.
We'll see how good this
I
footage
just
is.
downed
It
mine
might be
real
like,
quick
"Ooh."
instead.
And like I said, we'll send you the before pictures, but this was all painted bright yellow when we came in here.
Sunshine
So
yellow.
really had to look beyond when you're buying a house. So, and then we've got our beta fish down here on the landing, Ruby and RuPaul Garcia. All right,
Oh my
so we
goodness.
can.
Look at all the dogs in here just for a minute.
They all fit on that
We're
bed.
outnumbered. Almost 2 to 1.
Oh my gosh. This is great.
This
Okay,
bed though,
go on.
I really
So this is the
Right.
master bedroom, and honestly, well, this is my room. That was one thing with the whole entire buying the house and not having to write another contract with Nikki was
I said if we get
If
this
we get
house,
this house-
you can have the master. Like I'm
Mhm.
fine with it. We're done shopping. This is it.
This is how it sealed the deal to buy the house. I had bought this headboard. I got that at Goodwill for like $15, and everyone made fun of me because they think it's hideous. But I love it. I love mid-century modern, but I'm not gonna lie. Like I can go into 70s. Like I like the 70s. I think it may come off as tacky to some people, but at the same time, I think if you tone it down, it can be like still whimsical and not as tacky and appreciative. Like you just don't want to tack it up too much, basically. Just a little bit of tacky.
Well, yeah, in my opinion, it's still tacky, but in the best way possible.
Like the most designer tacky way.
Where you come up, yeah, all the colors work, everything that you've paired with it looks incredible. And it's different. It's not something that most people would choose, and I think that's what makes it fun.
Recently, I found this bedroom set.
That we had to travel all the way to Cincinnati, past my work.
Yeah. It was,
And
Two
then-
cars.
it was like
Two
an
cars
hour.
we had to
It was
drive
like an
there.
hour- It was an hour drive. And they weigh a ton.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
But I couldn't help it. I fell in love with them. I have never seen avocado green furniture in my life.
It's very cool.
I completely agree.
And-
It does weigh a ton.
Brian
Brian and Gage came over. and
carrying
we,
these up the stairs when I was in my car accident.
I'm another big thing that I love in this room are the 2 lamps that are by the bed. Those were also a vintage thrift store village discount find, actually.
They're my favorite.
They are also avocado
Those
green.
are super cool.
So this is the bathroom upstairs. When we bought it originally, it was gray as well, and we just really wanted to kind of make it bright and light. And Laura actually was the inspiration for how we ended up with it now. This is actually the room that we've remodeled 3 times since we've lived in this house. So every year we have changed this bathroom. But when we bought it originally, like I said, it was like a grayish with a white beadboard. And then Laura painted the cottage like this kind of like almost black. Like
It was a very deep blue.
deep blue. And I really loved how that looked because I used to live in the cottage and I loved it when it was white and I loved our beadboard when it was white. But then I saw it blue and I was like, oh, that's awesome. So we were able to find this textured wallpaper to put up there, and with the help of Laura and Brian, we put it up. Somehow we put it up.
That was a fun day.
And you should check out the switch
Oh,
And then-
that
yes,
you matched up
and then
perfectly.
Mr. Brian.
Definitely got a close up on that.
It's a good bathroom. The only thing that I wish that we could change about it is the flooring. And it has to do with, it looks like a kitchen to me.
It looks better with the gray grout now.
So originally,
Yeah.
we painted the grout. The grout was originally like this black, gross color.
They make these awesome grout pens. You can get them on Amazon. I think there's like 16 colors to choose from. It's a very easy project. It's one of those projects that feels like instant gratification when you're down there like coloring in the grout. If you have old looking grout on any tile floor, be sure to check it out. You will not regret it.
I'll say, yeah, the one thing, the bathtub, when we originally had it was painted gray. So this is an interesting, like, so the belly of the bathtub was painted gray to match the walls. I hated it. Thought it was absolutely disgusting. And then the feet were just rusty and gross. So I looked up if you could paint a bathtub. So I found this paint that was a high gloss white Rust-Oleum, and I was able to paint that. So I painted the belly white to match the inside. And then for the feet, I did bullseye primer, and then found a metallic gold paint. And I was able to make the feet kind of look like gold. This is Biscotti, Pizzelle, and Cannoli's room.
It's basically what it is.
Nikki lives here in this room. This was a really cool room. This room probably gets the most light in the house, in all honesty. It's the brightest.
You want to switch? I'll take the dog and you take the camera.
Really, both of these rooms are mine. Remember, that was part of the deal.
Yeah, so part of the deal is that Nikki got the guest room and this room. So she's really, both closets are hers and both spaces are hers if she
That's
wants
fair.
it. Yeah, I
That's
feel
totally
it's half the house. So,
Well, that
I have a
way
lot
she
of
gets
clothes.
more space to put fish tanks.
yeah, we finally broke that habit, clearly. This headboard is the piece that matches our console below our TV downstairs. I got that in high school. And so I refinished this one. I didn't refinish the console.
You wanna talk about that little tiny furniture piece? I love that.
It's
The
my
vanity?
favorite
I
thing.
remember when you when we went to go pick that up, and you thought it was a lot bigger.
That was
Photos.
yes, this was a Craigslist find. This is before Facebook Marketplace. That just shows you how old we all are.
I'm pulling a Brian and waving at myself in the mirror.
Does that ever make it in?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, look, he looks like a little Billy goat.
I know.
I used to call Alfie my little goat.
Maybe that's the name you name him, Billy. Billy. All right, so let's head off to the last room,
Which is also my room.
which is also Nikki's
The
second
guest
bedroom.
room.
This is the guest bedroom.
AKA my second room.
Yeah, Nikki's second bedroom. And basically, it is a landing pad for all of our past room designs.
Overflow.
All the leftover furniture.
all of the leftover bedding, all of the leftover curtains.
Yeah.
I
all
can
of the
relate,
leftover
but my
furniture.
leftover stuff doesn't look this nice together.
Well, this was my bed set before I could get a king size bed. So this was my queen bed set.
From like California.
From when we lived in San Diego. I think actually this whole room is West Elm. This is West Elm, West Elm, West Elm, and the side table is West Elm. Oh, this mirror I found at a thrift store, but I have later found out that it is the Mary Poppins mirror. She pulls it out of her bag. I hope that I know that there's copyright rules, but it would be sweet if you could like show like a reel of like her pulling it out of her nanny bag.
I think we can do a short clip.
But there was nothing in it. Never judge things by their appearance.
Can't think of anything else. That's about it for the tour.